Welcome students. Welcome to the lecture number 3 of MySQL revision tour chapter. So let's begin. Now the first topic which we are going to discuss today is MySQL. So first of all we have to know that what is MySQL, right? So let me recall you some things which I told you earlier, that all of us know that what is a database. We know that database is basically an organized collection of information, right? And if we want to manage this database in computer, okay, so we need a software for it, right? And the software which is basically used to manage database is known as DBMS software, right? And we also know that the DBMS software, which follows the relational model, right? The DBMS software which follows the relational model is known as RDBMS software, right? So we already know that the database is basically an organized collection of information. And if we want to store this database in the computer, then we need a software for it, right? Okay. And the software which is used to manage database in the system, that software is named as DBMS. Okay. And the DBMS which follows the relational model means the model in which the data is stored in the form of tables. Okay. The data is stored in the tables. So the DBMS which follows the relational model is known as RDBMS software. Okay. And MySQL is basically an example of RDBMS software. So there are many RDBMS software and MySQL is one of the RDBMS software. Okay. So I hope it is clear. So now, as you know that we are studying today the MySQL chapter. So what is basically a MySQL? MySQL is an open source RDBMS software which is used to manage database efficiently and effectively. I hope you are clear with this definition, because I already explained you about this RDBMS software. So MySQL is nothing else but an open source RDBMS software. So why we call it as open source? Because you don't need any license or anything to download this software. You can easily download this software, and as well as you can make changes in it and modify, and then you can also redistribute it. But let's see that MySQL is basically an RDBMS software which is used to manage database efficiently and effectively, right? So I hope it is clear. Now the next thing is that, suppose we have a system, okay, and in that system, suppose I installed a software, that is MySQL software I installed in this system. So after installing this MySQL software in my computer, what I have to do, I have to perform work in it. Okay, the user wants to perform work in this software. As you all know that if we want to perform any kind of work in a software, then what we have to do, we have to give instructions to that software. Let me clarify you this thing. Suppose I open MS Word software for you. Just wait. Now the MS Word software is open. If I have written my name, right? Now I want my name to be written at this point also. So either I can write my name, type my name again, or there is a one more option that I can use the option copy paste. all of you know about the copy paste option. So if I want to make a copy of this word, then I have to select it, and after selecting it, what I have to do, I have to click on this copy option. When I click to this copy option, it means I am sending instruction to the MS Word software that please copy the selected data. So once I click this option, my instruction is given to the MS Word software to copy the selected data. Okay, and the MS Word software will copy this selected data. And after that, suppose if I want to place this data over here, then what will I do? I will click this paste option. By clicking the paste option, I am giving instruction to the MS Word software to kindly paste the selected data which is just copied. So now you can see that. So by this operation, I just want to clarify you this thing, that if you want to perform any kind of work in a particular software, then obviously you have to give instructions. Without your instructions, the software will not going to perform any work, right? So let's come to our topic. Now this user wants to send some instruction to this MySQL software to perform some operation. So how he can give instructions to this MySQL software? So obviously, in order to give instructions in MySQL software, we basically use a language, and the language which is used to give instruction to in this MySQL software, that language is known as structured query language, and in short form we call it as SQL. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now let's move to the next point. So what is basically an SQL? Okay, so let me give you a definition of this. SQL is basically a database language. Okay, to work in the database, to give instruction to the database, we use this language. So SQL is basically a database language that is used to give instructions. Okay, that is used to give instruction to the RDBMS software for performing various tasks on the data present in the database of the RDBMS software. You know that in RDBMS software, the database is stored, right? In RDBMS software like MySQL, the data is present in the database. Okay, and if we want to perform any work on the database, then obviously we have to give instruction. So we are using the database language, that is SQL, to give instruction to the RDBMS software for performing various work on the data which is present in the database of the RDBMS software, right? So I hope it is clear that uh, you know that in RDBMS software, okay, we maintain database, and this database contains records in the form of tables, right? So we know that in the DBMS, so RDBMS software, the database is stored, and this database contains records in the form of table. And if we want to perform any work on the database, then we need to give instructions, right? And for giving that instruction, we use a language, and that language is known as SQL, right? So that's why we are telling you that in what is SQL? SQL is a database language that is used to give instructions to the RDBMS software. For what purpose? For performing various tasks on the data that is present in the database of the RDBMS software. Okay, now the basically, as we know that SQL is basically used to give instructions. So basically through SQL, we are sending some commands to the MySQL software. So the commands of SQL are categorized into following categories. So the first category is DDL, which is called as data definition language. The next category is DML, data manipulation language. And the third category is TCL, that is transaction control language. There are also other categories also present in the SQL commands, but as per our syllabus, only 3 categories we have to discuss. And these are DDL, DML, and TCL only, right? So let's begin with the one by one. The first command which we are, the first category of the SQL command which we are handling today is DDL. So what is basically the purpose of DDL commands? So you can see that the commands under DDL category deals with the structure of the table. So the whatever commands we are going to study under DDL, they are not going to deal with the data present in the table. No, they are going to deal with the structure of the table. Okay, they are not concerned with the data which is present in the table. No, they are concerned only with the structure of the table, that how to create a table, how to modify a table, how to destroy a table. Basically the commands under DDL basically do these kinds of work. Now the next thing is that, as you know, that the commands under DDL works with the structure of the table. Okay, so the commands are create, alter, and the last one is the drop. So basically we have to learn about these 3 commands under DDL. Now let's begin with the first command, that is create command. So now what is basically the purpose of this create command? So let's see its definition. This command is used to create a blank database, okay, as well as table within the existing database. So basically this create command is used for 2 purposes. The first purpose is to create a blank database in the RDBMS software. Okay, the first purpose is to create a blank database in the RDBMS software. And the second work is that within that database to create an empty table in the database, right? So first task is that to create a blank database in the RDBMS software, and once the database is created, in order to create tables in that database, we use create commands, right? So let's understand about it. Suppose let's see this example. Suppose this is my MySQL RDBMS software, and this RDBMS software already contains 3 databases. One is college, other database named as hospital, and third database named as airlines. Suppose this college database contains tables like a table named as student for managing the information of the student, a table named as teacher for managing the details of the teacher, a table named as course about to manage information about the courses conducted by that college. So basically in this college database, all the information related to the college is stored in it in the form of tables. Similarly, in the hospital database, there is a table for storing the information of patients. There is one more table for storing the information of the doctors, and many more tables which is related to the hospital. So now we are clear that this is a MySQL software, and it contains, right now it contains 3 databases. One is airlines, hospital, and college. So we are just taking this example. Now if we want to create another database in it, as we know that create command is used to the first purpose of the create command is to create a blank database, right? So you can see that how we can create a blank database in this MySQL software. So what we have to do, so basically this is the command in which we are using create command for creating the database. So what is the syntax? When you open the MySQL software, you will get a prompt like this. Okay, And after seeing this prompt, you have to write command after it. The command is create. You have to write create. Then you have to write database, and after that you have to write the name of the database. Okay, so let's see an example. Suppose if I have written like create, okay, as it is you have to write it. Then database, that also you have to write it as it is, and after that you have to write the name of the database. So the name of the database is company. So when I write this command, that create database company, then after it I have put this semicolon, and then I press enter. So when I press enter, then what will happen? A blank database named as company get created in my RDBMS software. Okay, so this is basically used to create a blank database in the RDBMS software. So let's do one thing, just do it practically also. Suppose in my computer I have a MySQL software also. So I just opened it. uh, this is the MySQL, and I put some password shared like this. So now my MySQL software is open. Okay, let me increase its font. Just for a moment. Font, let's I increase the font to 24. Okay, so now you can see that the size is already increased. Let me increase its size more, a little bit more. 36. Now I hope it is very well clear to you. So now you can see that we are getting the prompt. This is MySQL prompt, and after that I write the command that create database, and suppose I put the name as company. So I have written this command create database company, and I press enter. So what I get a message that query okay, one row affected. What does it mean? It creates a blank database in this RDBMS software for me, right? So I hope you are clear that how we can create a blank database in MySQL software. Now the next thing, that how to view list of all databases. So as we know that create command is basically used to create a blank database. But what about if we want to see the names of all the database which is present in my MySQL software? So we have to write the command that is show databases for it. Okay, so let me show you practically also. If I write show databases, remember one thing, you have to write databases, enter. You get the information about all the database, that one database is MySQL, one database is test, another data is information underscore schema, and this is the name of the database which we have created recently. And remember one thing, you have to write show databases. If you write show database, then the command will not work, because the command is properly show databases. Okay, now the next query is that uh, how to activate a database. As you have created a database, that's okay. So only a blank database is created. Now I want to work in that database. Okay, I want to create tables in that database. So before working on that database, we have to first activate it. And how we are going to activate it? The command is for activating is that you have to write use, and then suppose we want to activate our company database, so we just simply write the name of the database. So by typing this command, the company database get activated, and after that whatever work we done, all data gets stored in, all tables get stored in, everything gets stored in the company database. Okay, so let's activate this table, this database also. So for activating it, we write use, and the database name is company. semicolon and enter. So now you can see that the message appears that database changed. So what does it mean? It means that now the company database is active. After that, suppose how to view list of all tables present in the active data. Suppose we have activated the database company, and now we want to see that how many tables are present in the this company database. You know that for writing it, we have to write my show tables. Achha, remember one thing. Right now, the company database is the new database. It doesn't have any tables in it. Okay. So if I write show tables, then I get the result as empty set. Why empty set? Because right now the company database is a new database. It doesn't have any tables in it. So that's why it is showing me an empty set. Let's do one thing. What I will do, I will activate this test database and let's see whether this test database has any tables or not. So how to activate this test database? Use test. So now the database test is activated. Now I write the command show tables. So obviously this table also, this database also don't have any tables. But suppose when we create tables in the company database, then automatically by writing the show tables command, you will get the list of all the tables which is present in it, right? So we again activate our table, our database, that is company, use company. So now our company database is activated, right? So I hope that you understand all the concepts which I covered in the today class. So please note it down it and try to implement each and every command in the database as it is. DBMS software, that is MySQL DBMS software as it is. So thank you very much and have a nice day.